Thousands of government-sponsored experiments did take place at hospitals, universities, and military bases around our nation. The goal was to understand the effects of radiation exposure on the human body. Americans were kept in the dark about the effects of what was being done to them. The deception extended beyond the test subjects themselves to encompass their families and the American people as a whole. For these experiments were kept secret, and they were shrouded not for a compelling reason of national security, but for the simple fear of embarrassment, and that was wrong. So today, on behalf of another generation of American leaders and another generation of American citizens, the United States of America offers a sincere apology to those of our citizens who were subjected to these experiments.
Started the year with a new baby.
Unlike Casey Neistat, 2017 is by far the worst year of my entire life. My name is Cynthia Green, and I am a targeted individual. I've been able to connect the dots as to what's been going on with my life ever since I was medically separated from my employer. I've had nothing but a string of misfortunes. It wasn't until I came across a woman by the name of Catherine Horton, who I believe she did a very good job in outlining what is going on and what we were being exposed to as targeted individuals. And it could be anywhere from directed energy weapons to gang stalking. But I wish it were just gang stalking, because the directed energy weapons really mutilate your body from the inside. And so to my sister, who I don't know if I'm going to see again, I love you. I want the world to know that our government is utilizing our taxpaying dollars to not only spy on us, but to also use us as guinea pigs, experiment on us using these weapons.
I live in Washington, D.C. I'm being physically stung or stabbed or pounded, and it hurts. I am tormented and physically abused every day.
I wouldn't mind if he's just going to watch me or something, but the tracking on and the harassment, it's a little much, you know. I'm a disabled veteran, and, you know, I thought I live in America, not a society that will attack its own citizens.
You see, I am a victim of covert harassment and electronic harassment and gang stalking. I'm what's called a targeted individual. And somehow we've ended up on this ungodly, evil list of people who have their lives literally destroyed on a day-to-day basis.
What do you think about those people that don't buy your story? Does that not bother you?
Not in the least. Truth never goes away, and it's like a seed planted. It is going to blossom and come to fruition, because it's everywhere around us. It's in so many aspects of society, and once people's eyes are open to truth, even if they don't want to see it, they're going to start seeing it around them. So no, that doesn't worry me in the least. It's not important that they know my truth. It's important that they know their own, and everybody's on their own learning path. They're going to get the truth.
I'm covertly harassed, electronically harassed, and gang stalked. I'm what is known as a targeted individual. I'm attacked with directed energy weapons 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, inside my home, inside my car, and while I'm out in public. No one could see these attacks occur, and as a result, I suffer silently amidst those I pass on the streets, in the grocery store, and elsewhere. A variety of symptoms from an energy weapons attack can manifest into what appear to be everyday health issues, such as acid reflux and severe burns, to the more extreme heart attacks and strokes. Below I have assembled important reading for everyone to familiarize themselves with, because our country has come so far technologically that most of us have been left behind. For example, most of us aren't aware of the existence of nanotechnologies and its many applications, or most haven't heard about the successfully conducted experiments that is the brain-to-brain interface. It is for this reason I stress the importance of beginning the process of educating yourselves, because if you are neither covertly or electronically harassed or gang stalked, if this technology isn't touching you or someone you know, I guarantee it will eventually, unless Americans take a united stand against these crimes against humanity, unless collectively we do something to end these programs targeting innocent citizens. The old adage, what you don't know won't hurt you, has been revised to what you don't know can kill you. To reiterate, learn, share what you've learned, and take action. For united we stand, divided we fall.
Slow down just a
Thank
little bit,
you.
okay? This is important for them.
My name is Ken Rhodes from Michigan. I'm here to tell you that the use of electronic weapons and mind control is helping the United States against the American people. You may think this will never affect you, but there will come a day when this will affect all of you, your children, their children, and every generation from this day forward. I'm here to speak for every person affected by these horrific crimes against humanity. I can't go. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. And you are, I'm sorry?
My name is Lisa Becker.
Thank you, Lisa.
I had the privilege to address you at the last commission meeting. I'm here to speak for every person affected by these horrific crimes against humanity by a tyrannical group of people committed to eugenics and population control. If you're not part of this inside group of tyrants, you are like all of us here today. Ask yourselves, have you forgotten what it is to be an American and to be brought into tyranny? You will soon learn what it is to be a slave. Allowing this to continue is allowing our rights and freedoms to be taken away from all of us, one right at a time. It's interesting how much technology exists that would find the criminals and the perpetrators of this heinous crimes of electronic harassment and terroristic tactics being used against innocent U.S. citizens on a daily basis. These technologies should be used for the betterment of our society, but you know what the most powerful weapon is in our arsenal that would put an end to these horrific crimes once and for all. It is someone giving a damn and correcting the things that are taking place. We have all gone to people who took an oath to protect and serve, who have been in commissions to investigate the unethical treatment of citizens in human experimentations. We have been denied protection and service and have been ignored by commission after commission. Enough is enough. This is America. We're supposed to be better than this. We all know what Hitler did to the Jewish people. When this all comes out, what the American government has done to their own people, it will make Hitler look like a saint.
In reviewing the common rule, it's very obvious that there's a lot of loopholes to informed consent. All of the horrific experiments you've mentioned, Willowbrook, MK-Ultra, radiation experiments, mostly were done without informed consent. They were funded by the DoD and intelligence agencies, where I'm not even so sure you would know if there's an IRB, much less if an IRB is looking at informed consent. As a physician, relative to some of what you're hearing today, in the community, we are seeing an alarming rate of complaints of use of electromagnetic weapons. Microwave auditory effects, silent sound spectrum, EEG cloning, which has taken the lab out of the laboratory and into the home. Most of these, from the research that we reviewed, can be done remotely. It seems to be more weapons research than medical research. I personally corresponded with upwards of 1,500 victims, all complaining of identical complaints from every state in the nation. Of being exposed to electromagnetic radiation. non-ionizing radiation for the use of cognitive control or behavior control. I've submitted a paper to you, and there's another paper submitted to each member from another physician in Kansas City, alluding to the same thing.
My name is Robert Lovadier. I'm an eyewitness and victim that people are tampering with and retaliating against, and this is my public comment concerning noncompliances of bioethics and other codes of ethics. These noncompliances are a grave, pre-planned, premeditated breach of international conventions and are intentional and heinous atrocities of war crimes against humanity, domestic terrorism, domestic espionage, and genocide. We, the victims, are a group of U.S. nationals that are getting directly affected to the extent of attempted murder. That is genocide. The means and methods that are being abused are electronics and directed energy that unlawfully harness human subjects for unlawful experiments, research, and other exercise, the unlawful practicing and patterning of organized war crimes. The means are electromagnetic, radio frequency, psychotronic fields, voice-to-skull techniques, and other energy weapons that harness unwilling humans against our will and criminally conspires against our rights. They're used with remote viewers as one of the means of unlawful surveillance with criminal intent to terrorize, injure, harass, intimidate, and murder. That's called stalking, with the same intent. Also, unlawful human service trafficking that steals an individual's bioenergy signature through signal splashing unwilling human subjects, then using synthetic telepathy. That's a theft of human intangible property and other directed energies causing physical and mental pain, suffering, and trauma. These perpetrators torture victims in their physical control. This is cruel, unusual treatment and a terroristic hate crime that damages the subject's health, finances, dignity, employability, reputation, and human property while disrupting our mental faculties. Where is the equal protection law that is constitutionally ours? Is it not unethical to keep that from us? Our country's government helped develop these technologies, and they are forbidden to use on U.S. nationals. That is law. To not execute laws concerning these crimes is seditious conspiracy and treason. These unlawful acts are in direct violation of UN General Assembly resolutions, international humanitarian laws, and a slew of U.S. laws, and is completely unethical and irresponsible. We rightfully seek disclosure through prosecution. Thank you for having me. Good day.
My name is Sandra Fields. I'm an architect, recipient of Who's Who of Women in America Achievement Award, and have run a successful business for over 28 years. My life and livelihood have been compromised for the last 11 years by being attacked by electromagnetic radiation torture and by organized stalking. I cannot live in my rent-stabilized apartment in New York City as a result of this torture. I'm currently staying in motels and friends' houses in the last year. Thousands of Americans are currently suffering from chemical, electromagnetic, psychological, and physical torture with no government relief or laws. Our servicemen, prisoners, and thousands of unknowing, innocent civilians are currently being lamed, tormented, and tortured as a result of military research, medical research, pharmaceutical research, physiological and psychological studies that have virtually destroyed participants' sanity, physical well-being, reputation, and privacy. Government projects like MKUltra and COINTELPRO are rumored to be active today, with updated forms of surveillance and torture and technologies. In 2010, Morrison and Furster won the right to proceed with a case against the CIA, Department of Defense, and the U.S. Army for veterans' development of multiple diseases and ailments tied to a secret testing program in which the United States military personnel were deliberately exposed to chemical and biological weapons and other toxins without informed consent. Sleep deprivation, poisoning, and high-frequency doses of continuous microwave pulses are inclined to increase one's chances for mental disorders, autism, arthritis, multiple sclerosis, cancer, and Alzheimer's disease. The body's immune system is broken down. Their nervous system and the brain and spinal cord are attacked and maimed. There are no laws to prevent electromagnetic attacks, except in Maine. The federal government does not acknowledge these crimes. There is no literature, educational resources, or assistance for victims.
Hi, my name's Kevin Canada,
And I can't say it's a joy to be here because I would much rather be someplace else besides here. I would much rather be not a targeted individual, which I have been for the past 8 years. I believe my nightmare started at a VA hospital. 1998, I got very involved in some political stuff, and I won't go into the details, but I became what's called a targeted individual, and my life has changed unbelievably. Gang stalking, electromagnetic weapons, directed energy weapons. Some people even came in my house and jerry-rigged electricity, and I'm being electrocuted on everything. My appliances, I've been told that they can turn your appliances into weapons against you. So it's become a nightmare. I think I've been implanted at a VA hospital. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I know I'm being watched everywhere I go, surveilled, tracked like an animal. We need help. We need to know. We need to be able to go someplace to find out if we have been implanted. What kind of technology are they using against us? We have done nothing but try to get involved. For me, to get involved to make this a better country, and for that, we've stepped on some toes, and now we are targeted individuals. And I'm sure most of the people here are innocent and are being targeted for reasons they really don't know. So we need your help. And I think the suggestion of having a TI on this commission, I think, is a great suggestion. We need somebody who knows what's happening to us, helping us.
I'm another person who's being used for non-consensual human experimentation. The Stanford Research Institute, Lockheed Martin, and UC Berkeley are the criminal organizations and university that are involved in this. I can't speak publicly. Anyway, there are no ethics, there's no morality, rules, regulations. They're able to sidestep an IRB, an institutional review board, for God's sakes. I mean, there's a lot going on you people don't know about. You know nothing, and it's coming your way, you know? These nanotechnology institutes that are attached to national laboratories, UC Berkeley has its own molecular foundry. You need to look into this stuff, because it's going mainstream. It's not just us. You're going to be affected, your loved ones, your children, your grandchildren. You need to take a look.
Thank you. I'm a physician, and cervical cancer prevention in developing countries is my life's work. I previously outlined my concerns in written form to Valerie Bonham and to Adam Michaels. My concerns are regarding ongoing studies of cervical cancer prevention currently being conducted in India. These studies include scientifically gratuitous control groups of unscreened women, and it includes scientifically gratuitous measurements of cervical cancer death rates among over 100,000 Indian women who are not being provided with any cervical cancer prevention services at all. These studies have been funded continuously since 1997 by the NCI and by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I'd like to offer a testable hypothesis that if these studies had been reviewed by any one of this afternoon's panelists, they'd be found, without exception, to be unethical by each of the panelists.
My name is Leslie Crawford. I'm here from the state of Michigan. I wanted to speak about biotechnology applications being utilized on my person. I have medical reports showing eye damage being done to my eyes. My eyes does not have a mirror image. I also have nanowiring inside my eyes. I have pictures of the actual implants from the eye doctor. Once enlarging the nano implants, you will see a copy of the actual particles in my eyes. I have CAT scans, MRIs, and PETs showing wiring, nanowiring in my head. This is my brain. It's straight from the right side to the left side of my head.
All my family received while we moved to Bay Area, California, and settled right next to the Stanford Research, including my children. Two boys been implanted in optic nerves, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, Mrs. Barbara Boxer requested headquarters FBI to provide information in this regard, and FBI told us what we are under experiment. Then in the Department of Justice, Mr. Holder told us what we have to learn how to live with that, with torture. with robbery, and this is on tape. And Mrs. Gottman has this tape, and we beg you so many times, please call Obama, stop torture. Obama can stop torture. Did you call? Did you call Obama? We're asking you, stop torture. Physical torture, please.
Everything I've heard from this commission and this panel about ethics, they were mostly talk about pharmaceuticals research, but I haven't heard anyone talking about a psychotronic weapon research, or bioelectromagnetic weapon research. Who in this panel are familiar with a psychotronic weapon? Raise your hand, please. Who of you know about psychotronic weapons? Any one of you? Psychotronic bioelectromagnetic weapons. Are you familiar with that?
Not at all.
No? Okay. In this audience, is anybody familiar with a psychotronic weapon? Okay. Okay, the audience is familiar with that, and I think that in order for a panel or a commission to be able to help this problem and this issue, we'll have to have more knowledge on what psychotronic weapons are. I am physically leashed from my neck to the electromagnetic power of one of the weapons that is being used against me. I get tortured day and night. At night is with nightmares and all kinds of dreams that I don't want in my head. And throughout the day is my body. They prod with my neurological system, so they do anything to my body. Sometimes it's painful, sometimes it makes me sick. It makes me want to throw up. Sometimes I feel I'm going to have a heart attack. They do all kinds of things like jitter, pulsating with the electromagnetic frequencies. They use a program called virtual reality that makes them feel that they are right in there in front of you. And as you know, electricity travels as fast as the light. And you know how fast that travels, right? How fast does it travel? Anybody?
186,000 miles a
Very
second.
good.
Yes.
86,
I tell you what, though,
86.
we do need to hear
So I would appreciate if you get more aware and read. There is in the internet. There's all kinds of information now on psychotronic weapons, so that you will probably be able to help us after you have a better knowledge of what these weapons are and what these weapons do. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your patience.
In 2000, I was approached by an ex-Navy sub diver, and he brought to my attention the use of an auditory weapon that he stole from the United States Navy. Yeah, he told me about this weapon that he stole from the Navy, and he told me how the weapon would affect the central nervous system of a human, and he wanted me to go out and assist him in certain things. And in 2006, my life changed. I woke up one night and I got a strong electrical shock in the center of my chest. From that, I started to have problems with my heart. I started having Jiminies, irregular rhythms. Went in and to the hospital. The doctors determined that I was getting electrical shock through my chest. Then I went in and had an operation done, ablation. And all this just keeps going on. From then, it went to my lungs. Then from there, it went to my kidneys. From there, it went to my bladder. From there, it went to my colon. And it keeps going on and on and on. Medically, I've been looked at and reviewed over and over and over again. My brother, he's a doctor. My sister, she's a nurse. My nephew's a nurse. And I've got people that have talked to me about medical situations and medical views. And I know exactly what's occurring is wrong, and I feel like I'm a test subject. And I've responded to the government, and the government responded back to me. But I have not seen no action. I've given y'all a report, and y'all can look at the letters that I've sent in.
I am an 8-year victim survivor of assaults by directed energy weapons. The torture I've experienced consists of body overheating, body extremely cold, seizures, heart pain, earaches, itching behind eyes, burning behind eyes, swelling, headaches, involuntary movement of my limbs, exhaustion, speeding and heart racing, hair coming out by the handfuls as if I've had chemotherapy, mind paralysis, being hypnotized or placed in a trance-type state, being tracked by a drone or satellite, controlled dreams, sleep deprivation, V2K, which is voice to skull, projected sound, extreme muscle spasms, and extreme muscle cramps, being made to fall down, blue circles around the pupils.
I'm a lawyer and retired professor of assistant professor of ethics and law at Michigan State University. I want to address two things very quickly. One is the theme of vulnerability and its recognition. We have gone from an era of very reflective and I think very decent recognition of the moral obligations of researchers to an era of discussion of regulatory burden. I think that's unseemly. The second point is that there is law out there. The bioethics community has been oblivious to it, but there is international law. There is the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, the United States ratified in 1992, and it makes informed consent an absolute requirement, no exceptions, not even in emergencies, subject to those normal legal fictions of consenting for the incapacitated patient to medical care and so forth. Additionally, the Geneva Conventions and additional protocols to the Geneva Conventions make research very, very difficult or prohibited altogether for those individuals who are caught up in war and armed conflicts. Michigan State University faculty responded to the OHARP request for comment in 2005 on equivalent protections. I will be pleased to provide that comment and those citations and some additional materials to the Commission. Thank you.